not, but it's a best of one. Anything can happen.
That it is. It's our first game here at the Munich Major in the B stream. Good luck, have fun comes out in the chat as we start loading up into Bank with Dplus Kia taking on FURIA in this best of one to kick off our Swiss phase.
Now, Fall's been our man that we've spoken to during the player interviews over in the APL. And he's very humble, very hard guy to hate despite the import roster. And he had a lot of praise about the organization of Dplus Kia, saying, thank you guys so much for the support, want to do a good job for you guys, get first in our region, go to essential tournaments, and get good results for you. And I'm not sure if Dplus are treating this matchup very differently than the norm, because when you play an APL as a Brazilian team, you don't know your opponents. That was the big talking point. They don't know the meta, the style, the maps, their opponents at all, but they know FURIA. So this could be more of a, familiarity, counter-stratting, and, that same Brazilian playstyle. We see that right now. There's Portuguese in-game chat. Because why not?
It's funny. Dplus started talking to FURIA in English, and then FURIA, of course, replied.
That's classic FURIA, by the way. JV will tell you, if you meet him, no English, and then you'll hear him speak perfect English, but not when he wants to.
No, yeah, he's very selective about it, that's for sure. Now, Dplus Kia, while they have been scrimming and playing in Korea for the longest time, they did after the APAC major qualifier in Melbourne at PAX, they went over to Brazil again. So they have, in theory, been scrimming quite some time. And yeah, they've probably been scrimming FURIA a whole bunch. As we get into it, they will start on the attacking side. It's FURIA on the D, and they're going all the way down to the basement. And already I'm seeing the Monty teased out by Dplus. Ban phases flown by us, and I mean, nothing too crazy, but I like the vibe that's going on. A few kind of curveballs thrown in there.
The big announcement right now is going to be the Twitch ban from FURIA, because they're bringing up both the Goyo and the Echo, and that's where the Twitch counterplay can usually come into action. The drone gets tossed in a drone hole, sneaking to the bomb site, and takes down a bunch of utility. FURIA playing a very structured first round here, saying, first game jitters, let's all get situated. What's going to happen? Often the attackers were a bit more slow than usual because they're warming up into this tournament. So they're playing utility, they're playing the timer on the clock. Tashanka, Smoke, Echo, and the Goyo. Dplus, they're known to crutch the Monty when things are uncertain for them. I think it's a great first round pick for them here.
Yeah, obviously that Echo very deadly against that Monty. Can expose him. And so looks like Dplus are starting on the top floor. It's quite a heavy extension into into open area. Yeah, strange to see Felipox on the Echo actually on that roam, because he's going to want to be on his cameras a lot of the time. He's going to be a bit more vulnerable. But Levy's taking the ground that is given to him in lobby, already opening up hatches. A lot of phantom pressure applied here, which I like. And a pick to follow it up as well onto Ney. That's your plant denial from the Tachanka.
It's going to buy you so much time. I actually kind of like the fact that Felipox was roaming, because being on the bomb side on cams can, make you vulnerable to a rush. Instead, he was actively on the roam. But now they've fallen back, and this is Dplus making an incredible pace. They got server control, they cleared the server stairs, got opening pick onto Shanga, and now they have full map roam clear as FURIA fell on back by their own choice. Now we gotta see Nears call the shots, right from the Monty, saying, guys, get open those hatches, breach these certain walls, and trying to establish where is the plant going to be going down. We got a half round to play with. Don't rush it, just take your time.
Oh, this is really excellent time management from Dplus. FURIA attempted to try and get a little bit aggressive. KZ, though, is punished for it. Herds looking for an opportunity.
Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, that is really awkward for Midi. He exposes himself and is punished as he tries to breach that site wall for the default plant spot. The first kill for FURIA to try and bring things back.
The Monty not watching, the hatch not open yet. That's Mitty going a little bit too quickly in the server right there. And you see FURIA's aggression. They recognize strategically it's going to be a hard run. It's trying to win those gunfights instead. JV's been so hot on stage 2, but goes down to Bullet with that DMR.
DMR keen on the stairs for Bullet, but he's just flank watch at the moment. Felipox forced to try and retake, and he does find that kill. Plant is going down, not denied. Herds looks to get around it, get aggressive. No. He sprints straight past him and whips him back.
Winnable.
Maybe it just is winnable in the retake. 2v2. And there's an opportunity here for Herds to try and long arm this. Is anybody from Dplus in position? Falls, drops down, and takes him out. Felipox on his big flank, all the way back into server, and Levy finds him as well. Fire up Dplus. They've taken the first round against the big dogs from Brazil.
Really well played there by both the teams, actually. So FURIA opted for a retake, right? Philippox went up the main staircase to top floor and was holding top square. That meant Nate on the bomb side could push on through and shotgun open the soft wall and start defusing. Philippox had the hatch above him, but on the flip side, Dplus, they took the bomb side control, right? They walked in through garage, down main stairs, down the hatches, and they held it from a different angle. Ended up winning that round in the post. But I really want to praise Dplus there. I was worried that they were going to be very slow in the roam clear. Opening kill, ton of map control, and never slowing down. And they were fighting back, successfully against FURIA's aggression. It's a great start for them.
It is.
I mean, mind you this, Dplus, yes, they went back to Brazil to scrim recently. Good timing for them. But they've spent majority of their year in Korea, or in APL, right? And they've been fighting against much, quote-unquote, weaker teams on paper, especially compared to FURIA.
Also a different playstyle as well, which is something that Falls actually mentioned a lot in his interviews.
Yeah.
I know it's something that Psycho talked about, who, of course, another Brazilian who's infiltrated APAC.
Whoa. They didn't do as good, though.
No, they didn't.
And that was, I thought it was going to be Elevate taking Dplus' spot, making, qualifying to lands and stuff like that.
Yeah, no. On paper, though, I think a lot of people looked at Elevate. I mean, you've got the world champion Psycho leading that roster. Also, Elevate constantly just buying new players when the team isn't looking good enough. They're, like, upgrading. Who was it? Was it Resets they got?
Resets, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, former Team Liquid player. Not to, snuff at the Dplus roster. We've got Bullet, obviously, who played on FaZe. And the rest of this team has played at, majors and international events before. It's not, new for all of them.
No, but arguably smaller names, right? Like, if you're a fan of Siege, you're probably going to have more players you recognize from Elevate than Dplus, and that's going to meet the eye test.
One thing to mention, actually, which I made a note about, but I forgot to mention before the game started, is actually Nears and Midi are the only two players at the tournament making their international debut.
Oh.
Midi has been to 2 SIs and 3 majors as a coach for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but never as a player. This is his first time competing.
Oh, Levy.
Since he's been playing since 2017. Levy is the first one to find an opening kill. JV
again
suffers an early death, and here comes the aggression. Look at that from Midi. He's been in the scene for a long time, but now he's here in the server and ready to deal some damage. It's a near flawless round for Dplus as Herds tries to make his way back up this main stairs, and he is eliminated. What a show from Midi. And what a star-studded roster of Dplus swinging into bank with 2 rounds straight.
You could almost say this might be the APAC special from Dplus, kind of just playing kind of chaotic in the server, but very structured at the same time. It's chaotic because they're hitting their marks in the server at a very unpredictable time, but they're doing it so well together with the 3-2-1 that's all exploded at the exact same moment. An attack timeout from the former world champions of FURIA.
Yeah,
not what I expected.
No, not at all. Definitely a surprising start here. And Igor will call the tactical timeout for FURIA and start getting into the ears of the players. What's going wrong? The only thing I can assume is perhaps it's a bit of an underestimation of Dplus and their playstyle. I mean, Dplus have shown that they're happy to play slow and steady, right? Early execute onto the roam in that first round, and then really slow and thorough mid-round where they're aware of FURIA making aggressive plays, and they just convert their advantage bit by bit. Very different to what happened in that second round. It's opening pick, and then we see an opportunity go.
I mean, if you want to, sniff the copium, this is bank attacking side, which you can always say it's a lot easier and you have much more ways to break apart the defenders. But I'll always come back to the argument that this is FURIA. I don't think side choice matters in this case all that much. This is a complete vibe check from memory. I feel like FURIA have tended to, similar to Falcons actually, very slow starts to events, if not mistaken, where they might win a match, but they'll lose the first couple rounds and come back 7-5, 7-4 maybe. I do feel like they have a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, but they're one of the best teams at adapting as well.
Yes.
And once they find their swing, they are a very hard team to slow down.
That's it.
Because that confident play style. But it's been 2 rounds in a row where the opening pick has been found by Levy on Dplus.
5 seconds remaining.
And pretty early on as well, both times. A minute in the first round and a minute and 5 seconds in the second round. It's also worth mentioning, like you said, Bank is an attacker's paradise. It's hard to find a solid defense on this map. I'm looking at the stats. At the moment, Bank is the second highest attacker win rate in the last 3 months. Actually, Chalet takes the cake at 53%, Bank at 50%.
Okay. That's not too surprising. Now, one thing that Dplus has done a really good job at, which they didn't do in Stage 1 and that much in Stage 2, is they've been flexing different operators, right? They had Ying, they've had Capital, they had the Muncie, they had Blackbeard, now they have like Raora.
Yeah.
This is going to mean that after this round, when FURIA has to be a third operator ban, there's no clear vision of like, what's the problem? Because it was Nuke on last round, for example, with the Capital Ying. It was Muncie arguably the first round, and now it could be the Dokkaebi, it could be the Blackbeard. They're keeping FURIA guessing as to what the overall game story is going to be, but I think they have the correct read here. Philippox is watching that main staircase where Nuke snuck in before. This time it's a Lion.
A little bit of lurking, but Bullet finds the kill anyway. That DMR so deadly, and Philippox goes down. Meanwhile, Dplus have put a lot of attention on the bomb site. They're clearing out the Vulcan canisters. There's the trade from JV. The nade doesn't find anything for Bullet. He's put down. And a reply. It's an aggressive execute into the site for Falls. With the Blackbeard shield on the back. But he's spotted by JV. What a shot there with the slug shoddy. Nears tries to bring it back again, but JV rounds the corner. Him and Nade together get that site on lock. And third time is not the charm for Dplus. JV has a nuclear round, and FURIA finally get back into it.
JV finally staying alive. And I mean, I gotta say, some of these gunfights are a little bit uncharacteristic for FURIA. Like Philippox in that very first one only hit one of his 4 slug shells on the Kaid, missing a lot of those quote-unquote easy to hit shots. Doesn't happen all that often. Third operator ban. I'm very curious. What does FURIA feel like could be the problem? It has been an issue for them. It's gonna be the Muncie. And I think when you look at the 3-4 different operators that they could have banned out, the Dokkaebi, the Blackbeard, the Ying, the Capital, the Muncie, it's 5 actually. Muncie is the safest bet. Because they can always crotch it if things aren't working out. It's good for planting, it's good for roam clear. Muncie is probably one of the most versatile attackers. It's a great choice. On the flip side, Dplus got rid of the Mira, which is more useful to hide behind. Castle, Clash, and the Mira.
So many different options. Well, like you said, FURIA, they take their time to warm up sometimes, but once they find it, that momentum does not go away. It's back down to the basement with more or less the exact same setup that we saw from them in the first round. Again, we've got Plant Denial for days. The Goyo is actually gone. I think it's KZ's army that's in place instead of it.
Yeah.
So a little bit less Plant Denial, but I mean, between Smoke, Echo, and Tachanka, I think you'll be all right.
I think it's a good choice because of 2 reasons. One, they kind of lost the game on their own previously, right? They lost the player and then it's a fall back. And now, okay, they can strengthen the roam with the Asami. That's one part of it. The other one is Muncie is gone. It's going to be more difficult to work through the map for Dplus. And I feel like the counterplay here could be like Deimos Dokkaebi. But that's going to be a lot of roam clear, not that much side focus. So they got the Deimos, which is going to be great for the roam, like I mentioned. Yeah. But then they have 4 other operators that can deal with the side later on. So again, both teams doing a great job at understanding what these operator bans have changed.
Yeah, I love that. No mirror to worry about as well is nice for Dplus. It's just less ingredients that you're going to need to bring, especially, of course, another operator that the Twitch would counter had she not been banned out. What is going on, Levy? I mean, Dplus, I admire how fast they are, but it's critical that you don't make mistakes like that.
Yeah.
The big risk, I mean, it was either a missed drone or a calculated risk.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to see where the drones might be from Dplus, and there's, first of all, almost no drones left in the server. Second of all, I don't see anybody spectating drones that would be where Levy died.
Yeah.
So they might have thought, guys, it's an open air roam, just like last time, same positions, except KC, not being the Goyo, found himself in an off angle and now gets the freebie. And that's Ibana gone. That means the hard destruction is going to take a lot longer and just be more limited. You have Maverick and then 2 can openers now. That means something will stay closed. And look at the timer. Yeah. At this point last time, they were inside the bomb site. Well, they're almost there now.
That helps. Quick E1D and an entry from Nears. Re-aggressed upon by the Yokai. Nears doesn't manage to spot it and take it down just yet. Now comes the track from the Deimos. Bit of info. And maybe Dplus have made up for the early mistake with a lot of ground taken. And like you said, they do have enough hard breach to get open this hatch and everything they would need to. It's just going to take a little bit longer than they'd like.
Yeah, the server walls are soft, which is going to mean they do have enough. If they were all reinforced, then different story there. But my worry is not so much the destruction at this point in time, it's where do you plant? The only real option right now is you're gonna smoke and capture fire and try and plant somewhere in the midst of that smoke. But you got Echo, you got Tashanka, and you got very limited time to work with. And again, lack of soft destruction means Deimos Pistol to take a lot of time right now to open up the default plant location. And a default plant will not be possible unless Nate misses every single fire from Tashanka.
Yeah, Nate can single-handedly win this round.
Yeah.
And so it comes down to Dplus having to get a little bit aggressive to take him down somehow. Bullet does that and finds KZ.
No.
Falls is the one with the diffuser, and he's actually above the hatch. He's not in the default plant position. So Dplus are going to need to go for something a little bit unorthodox, a little bit aggressive, jumping down the hatch.
There's the smokes.
Here come the smokes from the Maverick. You can't fire up everywhere. Oh, Philippox takes a lot of damage and is taken down. JV finds one, thankfully, for Furia. And Falls, well, he's likely to be spotted through the smoke. JV will finish him off, and Nade will claim the final kill. Goodbye to Dplus. And 2 rounds in a row for Furia. They're looking a lot more comfortable than at the start of this game.
Yeah, good composure there. Nobody panicking the server, but then again, Furia not the team to panic almost ever. And it looks like after that tag timeout and that third operator ban of the Monty, this could just be the switch around that we almost expect with those slow starts of theirs. But I want to see Dplus. Do they have more of those pocket strats up in their sleeves? Because first 3 rounds, they had their things happening. That 4th down was the same as the first one, except there was no Monty. I didn't see anything different.
Yeah, that's the thing. Dplus, they have clearly shown this game that they like to go really fast.
Yeah.
They like to be really unpredictable. But the problem is, when you start playing unpredictably, it becomes
Every
a bit
round.
predictable.
Yeah. It's about pace chasing, right? Like, a good team can play really well fast or really well slow. A great team can go fast this round, slow the next one, in middle, then spawn peak, then no spawn peaks. And you can buy all these small victories in a round of Siege. Whether it's as a defender, killing a bunch of drones early on, now the attackers have little information. Going for a spawn peak for, let's say, 2 rounds in a row, and then you never do it again. But guess what that spawn peak effect has? The attackers are always watching the windows. They're not sprinting towards the building. Yeah, phantom pressure, right? They're gonna be spending 10 seconds longer getting to the building. In 10 seconds here and there, that can really add up. Especially with like all the plant denial that we keep seeing, and now wall denial.
Yeah.
Kai 2-brown bank on top floor in 2025?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I really love the way that Furia, they will double down on a certain aspect of their defense, whether it's plant denial or wall denial in this case, but then they won't like quadruple down on it like they did in the first round where they also had the Goyle on top of the Tachanka Echo Smoke.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
4 out of your 5 operators are on 1 win condition, and then Dplus kind of nullified it by playing really fast in the early game. Right. This time Furia, they've hedged their bets, and yet they're still really, like, when it comes to plant denial, they've got it unlocked. When it comes to info, they've got that unlocked. When it comes to wall denial, like, good luck.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. It also means Dplus in the first 6 seconds, they're all outside the building, now wrapping to square, because they gotta figure out what's gonna be the first angle for us. Thermocharge far left, he's gonna open up the Genesis wall as well, and apply more pressure onto the player inside of there, but there we see 2-brow. Now the Kai claws, I believe, have both been pre-placed, so I'm not sure they can stop this, but they can stall it out for as long as possible. Maybe get a cheeky C4 kill. It hit the wall though, doesn't get the charge.
Be a very deep angle now, but Herds with a DMR, one of the best operators to try and deal with this position, the best weapons. Midi might just die.
I mean, this could be a planned attempt.
Surely not. Fall's going to go for it straight away. Where is Philippox? He's not going to be able to be on his camera because the Dokkaebi forcing him off his observation tool. Falls is going to plant in the 5v5. A quick and early plant for Dplus, and he doubles down with a kill on KZ. How is Furia going to retake this? 1 kill at a time, perhaps, but with Nears up above the hatch, with full vision onto that plant spot, I would say that this is an impossible retake for Furia.
They even got to play below level with the DMR, so they got so many different post-plant positions right now, and JV finds another, though. But look at this scouted angle. Do they have to read on it?
One tap from Nears. Goodbye to Nade. JV is way outside the building after going for the run out. He's not going to be anywhere near the diffuser, and that's going to be the round in the bag for Dplus. A beautiful pocket strat done to perfection, and Dplus are back in the lead on Bank.
That's exactly what I wanted to see when I said, do they have one more of those strats up their sleeve? It was executed perfectly. And again, the understanding for Dplus to know what problems might arise. Well, okay, if they have Plant Denial, Light the Echo, how can we stop it? Dokkaebi. They're not going to play Mute top floor, no chance. What happens if they play Kai Tubra rather? We're patient. Let's just like really drone it on out. And the plant position was perfect. Most teams plant left-hand side of the breach, which means you can see from the window repels, but not the skylight. They plant far right, so now verticality on the window repels and skylight. 3 win conditions. It can't go wrong.
Totally. And you know what's also great here is we've obviously casted a lot of Dplus. Have played some of the most games out of any teams in the world because of the format of the APL.
Yeah.
I have not seen these exact strats.
We haven't. No.
Not once.
We've seen the top 4 execute where you do like a sense and a glass and stuff like that, but we haven't seen this specific instance
that
of it.
specific plant spot. Often there's a lot more baiting out, fake executes, but they're just going for it. And so FURIA, with all of their, their whole team of analysts and coaching staff, because they do have quite a few. You've got Abreu, I believe, is their analyst or assistant coach. I'm not sure exactly which title he takes, and of course Igor heading the ship. You've got the ability to watch every single VOD, look at every single strat, tell the team, guys, be aware of this, be aware of that, be aware of this. And there are counters to a lot of what was going on there, but you have to think of them in the moment. For example, when that Dokkaebi call goes off, you said there's no mute, you do have the Tubarao. Technically, FURIA could have thrown a Tubarao canister at the Echo to prevent that call from going off, and then he gets on his cameras and denies the plan with Echo.
That's entirely possible.
But how are you going to know that if you're not expecting that push in that moment? You have a window of 7 seconds to deny the plan. And Dplus, keeping it fresh, keeping it quick. They're playing games with FURIA.
It's going to anger them, though. James, we know this. And when you anchor the lion, it's going to start to roar. The panther in this case, I guess, They're going to make a play. You know it. They played their plant denial. They played their wall denial. Now they're looking for kills. JV is 8-3. He's really stepping up individually, but no one else is close to positive. 2-5, 2-5, 2-4. 2-3 from Nade.
Ooh.
Oh, the save there from Falls. Nears is 1 point of health. Now has to worry about the Goyo canisters and any sort of impact grenades at C4s. And FURIA keeps swinging on those window repels, and they're losing those fights, as they should.
The ego challenge, I mean, that's got to hurt Herds for sure. Nears, though, very low HP means that he's going to have to play very passively. I like the way FURIA have doubled down on info denial here, but somehow there's an angle there for Bullet. He takes JV down, and this should be a very easy kill for him as well. Even though Felipox is trying to reply, they've got the read on that. They nade him on out. It is a 2 versus 5. Oh, maybe they can revive JV. This is going to have to be so quick. It baits him. Nade's going to try and double down on that, but Bullet takes him down as well. It's a 1v5 becoming a 1v4. Nade, what can you do here? Nears is low HP. You find Levy, but he finds you first.
Wow.
It's a lock-in for Dplus. 4 rounds in the first half as they say goodbye to their attacks and move on to defense.
A very different attack there was over Dplus, right? Like, they weren't really that aggressive. They were almost expecting FURIA to make the wrong play, to ego challenge, and they were just waiting for them. Blitz, the only character that walked in the building, everyone else covering angles, the flanks, the staircases. Even when you saw the Mossy on the main stairs, there was a red ping and a grenade coming for him right when he showed himself. Like, they're just striking everywhere right now for Dplus. That's going to be the bank attacks done and dusted. Sideswap happens. But if Dplus, with this 4-2 success, they just need a pocket strat here, a clutch there, and they're going to get closer and closer to a BO1 victory against FURIA.
It would be huge. I mean, FURIA have only lost 1 game in the entirety of Stage 2, and there's an asterisk next to that because it was the final game of their group stage in the South America League. It was against Team Liquid. They lost pretty handily, 7-2, but FURIA had already confirmed that they would make it to the top 2 in the league, which means they would get the preferred seeding moving into the playoffs. Once they got to playoffs, didn't drop a series. Right? So the only loss that FURIA have had so far is one that didn't matter. And this game does matter. Yes, it's the opening game of Swiss here, but you get an advantage if you go 3-0. And look, if you did a poll of 100 people that loved watching Rainbow Six, and you said, okay, who are your teams that are going to make it 3-0? I reckon like 80-90% of those people are going to be saying that FURIA is making it through undefeated into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, most people at FURIA probably making top 4 guaranteed in their minds, I would say. Just like, period.
They're arguably the favorites for the tournament.
They very well might be, given G2 Secret situation, Falcons. Yeah, I mean,
G2 Secret Falcons are obviously all very good teams at the moment. Secret winning EWC, but FURIA won in Rio, which was a bit of a different situation. I mean, FURIA got the number of FaZe in Rio. They were beating them. I think those are kind of 5 of your top teams. Perhaps you add M80 into that.
That's my dark horse, so to speak, actually. I have M80 making top 4.
I love how, like, becoming champions in North America, you still count as a dark horse.
Yeah, cause, it's North America still, James. And as a region for a decent time, they look so good. And then they go to national, they get top 8, but then they kind of out of the tournament,
I was listening to Parker's 6on6 podcast with Fett and Mint recently, and they were talking about the NA championships. Obviously, all NA boys there. I think the only NA championships that have been won would obviously be the Beast Coast Championship in Manchester. Before that, I think it was TSM, SI22, and then SSG, SI20,
Dark
and
Zero, which was NA, which was Charlotte, first after COVID.
Okay. Not as many nearly as EU and Brazil, of course.
Yeah,
a lot more than APAC though, sadly.
For now.
One day it'll happen.
One day.
Maybe we just needed to import some Brazilians. Maybe Dplus will take the championship.
I mean, okay, so Dplus win a major. Do you claim an APAC victory?
As someone who has been following APAC Siege since before Pro League started, in 2017, 2016, I would not count that as an APAC victory.
I wouldn't either. But
technically,
but
their coach is Korean.
There would be a Korean champion. Yeah, there would be that.
We already have had APAC players be champions. We've had virtual.
Yeah. That is very true. Now for this round though, it's kind of a bit of not much happening. There was a few bullets exchanged early on. That's why Levy and JV are low in health. There's been hard destruction. FURIA, look at the lineup. They want to get to bomb site in a 5v5. That is what this is screaming, right?
Oh yeah.
The fuse, the captains of the glass, a quick hatch drop, a clash by the main stairs, gonna stop that push on forward, and Mitzi strikes first.
There's no way.
Like, he has the fuser. If he dies here.
Oh, here we go. The fire supports from Herds, but FURIA are trailing in the numbers as KZ just went down, and now they're stuck in a crossfire. Nice shot onto Midi, though, from Herds. JV is looking to backstab from the other side. He is going to be completely solo on server, and a big Nitro cell from Falls finds the double. JV in a 1v3 as Dplus sit back, relax, knowing that they've got the diffuser. Good one tap from the man himself. About to hit double digits for JV. It would be a clutch to remember. But he's got to deal with that Clash who is staring him down, tasing him out. Both Niers and Levy on low HP. His flashbangs go out. Nice shots onto Levy.
He's got time.
JV in the 1v1, and he can certainly make it happen. It's a monstrous clutch for JV. 1v3 for FURIA as the gunner himself puts Dplus down. More questions asked now, and that lead is slipping.
JV has been so good throughout the entirety of Stage 2, and he's gotten kills in this game, but not really impactful. But that round, yes, JV, a small gap was created there by Dplus, allowing him in the A-bomb site. But then JV takes full control. And Dplus, you can tell, they're feeling comfortable, they're feeling mighty in the server. They were over-swinging. There is no reason why the guy in Garage Ramp is actively trying to take a gunfight when you just walk away, play the time. There's 15 seconds left,
right? Should be basically hiding.
You arguably should, but I don't blame Dplus because they've been winning off the aggression. They've been winning off playing together, and they were trying to play the 2v1 with the Clash information. But it was JV, the one guy from FURIA that I believe right now could win that round, and he does exactly that.
Yeah, JV has been incredible in Stage 2. He's the 5th highest rated player in the world.
Playing in Brazil, the hardest region.
Exactly. Number 1 and 2 didn't qualify for the tournament. Number 1 is Maya, strangely.
Okay.
Number 2 being Jigsaw from the Chiefs, playing over in OCE, and then you got Reaps, Tuhan, and then JV. So it's, funnily enough, it's all Brazilian and APAC players in the top 6 even, because Critj comes after JV.
So that was a big story we had in APL where it's been like the battle of individual players. Like 20 bombs are being dropped every play day by various players. They said Critj, Tuhan, Jigsaw.
You're just tight like that.
Yeah, I like the Jiggy. I don't know.
What is going on from Herds there? Very aggressive. 35 seconds into the round.
That was giving Levy vibes in the 3rd round.
That was.
Just in the building. Levy died as Dokkaebi. Herds dies as Capital. Both high in utility that will no longer be played this round. And I think for FURIA, the simplest way to kind of talk about this BO1 thus far the battle of the opening kills. They're almost every single round playing 4v5 and trying to make a comeback happen, and half the time, you know, it works. But you got to wonder, if FURIA could tighten up in the first 60 seconds of the rounds, how different the score could have been.
No, definitely Dplus' off-piste pace made things very difficult to read in FURIA. I mean, the fact that they only have this third round because of that big clutch from JV, I mean, look, it's great. You look at the kill counts on both teams, and you're like, damn, JV is he's by far and away the best player in the server right now, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be the winning team. Like, that's not how this game works, and APL is a good example of that. The fact that Maya and Jigsaw are the top two rated players in the world, and neither of them qualified for Munich, I mean, that speaks volumes to how much Siege is a team game.
Yeah. And it just goes to show here as well, JV cannot take server stairs on his lonesome. Shouldn't be possible. KC should not be able to take garage control on his lonesome, but his teammates of Hertz, who's dead, can watch the camera for him and relay the information.
He sees his foot.
And he's got a DMR. It's a great time to have this weapon.
You could yellow ping that. Ooh, this is very risky. Can't land the shots until he does, and then Bully goes down. 3v4 as Dplus are trading back and forth. JV trying to drop. It's an awkward angle. He's not going to be able to aim down sights while he falls. He somehow times it perfectly. No. He dances around, and Levy goes down. 3v3 as JV hits a 3.0 KD with his 12th kill. 30 seconds to play, and Dplus look to not repeat the mistakes of last round.
Gotta let them walk and have that crossfire. There it is. Double swing. Much better played. Where's Felipox and KC? Just now dropping.
It's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
FURIA not in sync as a team, and as a result, it allows Niers, the debutant, to come through for 2 big kills. Midi.
No bullets.
Oh, he's run out of shots, and Midi will take him on down. Another round on the board for the Korean organization. Just 2 more, and they take down FURIA.
And now we have to wonder, you know, with that clutch before, that could have been a 6-2. It should have been a 6-2. And I gotta say, that final, like, 3v3, JV pushing through, making the play, getting fought from 2 different angles. Okay, where's his teammates? Open area, on the hatch, passive, not dropping, not fighting, not even looking ready for an execute.
So out of sync.
So, and this is so unlike FURIA as well. Their aggression usually is together. The timings are tight.
Yeah.
It's been some gaps here in FURIA's gameplay. If it wasn't for JV, this probably would, I mean, this would have been over.
Absolutely.
6-7-1 probably.
Yeah. And did you see the looks on their faces after that round as
Not
well?
a lot of energy.
I mean, Nade not looking happy. Herds looking shocked.
Yeah.
His face red with anger.
And now he's on Thermite, dude.
I
like,
know.
I would be super shocked if I was him.
Dude, I mean, like, you look at the roles of this roster. I mean, Herds is the entry.
Yeah.
KZ and JV are described as entry flexes.
Yeah.
And how is it JV that's doing all the work here? I mean, even KZ himself, 5 and 8, Herds 3 and 7. These are meant to be the tip of your spear for the roster. Even JV has a bit more of a supportive role in this game, at least. He's doing this based on clutches. It's not a good look for FURIA at all. And what adds insult to injury is they took that tactical timeout when there was 0-2 down. Igor doesn't have a chance to reel the boys back in.
Firing level!
Do not. And I'm very sure that Dplus have such a good understanding of how the mentals of FURIA work, because they, you know, they're both from Brazil, from the players, and they should know each other quite well, I imagine, because they scrim so much. Yeah, the gap is not that big, Mr. KC, so you gotta find a different angle for that. Kali lands. Trying to deal with the utility pieces first. So FURIA's attack inside is very different from that of Dplus. FURIA, step 1, step 2, step 3. Oh, now we can execute, for example. Dplus, they would like do step 1 while they're setting up step 2 and just hitting step 3 right after. So at this point, Dplus are by the bomb site. They're up the main stairs. They're in the building. We've seen Casey go from window rappel to parking rappel to in ATMs to outside to back to window rappel. They're all waiting for him to do all the Kali work first. But you're giving Wamai time to recharge those magnets, which are now catching half the util.
Well, for what feels like the first time, an opening kill has been found by FURIA. In fact, it's only the second time this entire game long that FURIA have found the first pick. They're playing very slowly. It's a contrast to what we've seen for most of this game so far. But how are you going to deal with that clash, right? Oh, the answer comes very quickly. It's the Kali knocking the shield back with the shots from the sniper. Oh, he's so tempted to put it down, isn't he? But the risk is there. He's not going to go for it. Time ticking away.
Info is too valuable because, mind you, when Dplus made that exact same plant spot happen, there's lack of information from FURIA that made that go down, but the Clash stays alive and Nero swings behind him, doubling down on that position. FURIA have information, nades are coming out, but again, they cannot deal with the Clash effectively. No Kali lances. A single or frag grenade in the pocket of nade is the only way to deal with soft utility like the Clash shield. It might just be a...
Oh.
Well, Casey upping things up, actually. Mitzi goes down. That's going to be with Omai. Still winnable.
Yeah. Well, Falls is under a lot of pressure, though. With that Clash being harassed by the Kali, in goes nade. It's not going to be easy to find a safe plant spot, but with Falls going down, maybe he can. Levy needs to try and get around it, but he's being watched by JV and by nade. So well baited, so well played from FURIA. Nia's in a 1v4. As he finds his second kill of the round, he will need to ace up, but with the plant down and 3 FURIA players watching him, nade steps up. A massive round from him, and FURIA stave off match point.
And I think it really comes down to opening pig once more. That was a 5v4 pseudo-execute there for FURIA because they found the pig early on. There wasn't enough manpower for Dplus to take those fights 2v1 in every single confrontation, so there were some 1v1s, and finally FURIA they come alive and finally win those. But I really think that if FURIA can keep this slower style gameplay early on, keep their 5 attackers alive, and hopefully find a pick of their own or force a pick of their own, that's going to be the way forward for them. Arbiter bans are going through, and it's going to be a Twitch and a Kaid. So the double Twitch ban. I think the Kaid here is quite cheeky. That's going to be FURIA saying, we think you have a different way of playing this game, and it involves denying the hatches, denying the walls. We don't want to deal with that. So Kaid will get removed from play. A ton of utility being focused there from both teams when they were on the attacking side.
And we're in a similar position where we were a couple of rounds ago, Nick, where
Yeah.
FURIA are technically only losing
Maybe JV played that so well together. Just picking their fights. And now we see those pocket strats from FURIA themselves. The Nurk creeping below. Sees the bulletproof camera, but won't be detected, of course, with that gadget.
BB.
And a BB. Hard to deal with. Seguya canister if he walks all the way up, but...
Oh, wow, that's going to really tank a lot of damage. Somehow Flipbox doesn't even take half of his HP. We're lucky about that. Nade goes out. Still hasn't managed to confirm that kill, however.
I think they think there's a player down there. Or expecting a flank at the very least, but we know Dplus not quite in that area, but they're on the main stairs.
Bullet has eventually fallen after feeling a lot of pressure at front desk there. You're right, though. KZ is dedicating so much to try and holding on to this position. Wow, aggressive trade. Nade comes in to support as well, as does Herds. It's a great crossfire. I really like that. Doesn't matter that the Blackbeard doesn't find the kill. He enabled his teammates to find it.
Gonna be a bit of desperation from Dplus. They've lost top 4 control. It's an open area defense, but Nears is still inside of stock with a boost angle. Sees Felipux, the shield blocks those bullets, he stays alive, and here comes the push, 2v1.
Oh, Herds finally landing his shots. Exactly what the doctor ordered for FURIA. The Panthers are ready to pounce, but Falls finds a double kill, immediately traded on back as FURIA collapse onto the bomb site. It's Midi in a 1v3. He's not going to show the heroics that JV has done before. And FURIA Back into the game. It's 5-5, even on the scoreboard.
Seeing some smiles there from Nate. Hurts. I'm still not convinced. Still missing a bit of life there.
Dude's 4 and 8. He is on tilts.
At least he got his one in that one. Actually, he got 2 kills technically off the play of Blackbeard.
Oh, but it is time for a tactical as PJH looks to talk to the rest of the team.
He's got some hair dye.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love the look. Now, I did wonder this earlier. If it gets to the point where Dplus is taking the tactical timeout, I think that's exactly where FURIA want to be.
That's what I was going to say the same. Like, I think this is dangerous because you're giving your opposition the same pleasure of getting the coaching staff involved.
Sure. I mean, while clearly PJH feels like he needs to talk to the squad about something, I mean, I just think that once you let Igor get into the ears of a player like Herds, perhaps shake him back into shape, that's when things get really deadly. This is the most ominous position that it's been so far this game for Dplus. Igor, there you go. That's what we needed.
Yeah, bit of energy, bit of life.
A bit of animation from Herds. Could get this game across the line if him and KZ can look really solid on those entries. It's Nate, actually, in the last 2 rounds. It's really stepped up. He's found the opening kill twice in a row. He's now going positive as well. Remember, he looked so glum for the longest time in this match. Still unthinkable that only 2 players on FURIA are positive at the moment at the 5-5 scoreline.
We also really got to see the ins and outs of how Dplus function because we've been speaking with Falls in the play interviews over in the APL, and we all kind of assumed that he was like a big voice in the team. He said Mitty is like the IGL, and during that tag timeout, it was just Mitty being spoken to and Mitty being very like, okay, nodding, agreeing, etc. And the second that the tag timeout was over, he looks to his teammates and talks to his team. So it feels very much like Mitty has full control over the strategical side of Dplus's ins and outs. And that could put a lot of pressure if he's very much on his own.
Well, I hazard a guess it could also be a bit of a language thing, of course. PJH's first language is Korean. Most of the Dplus guys speaking Portuguese. So
well, it's Falls doing interviews in English.
That's actually true, yeah.
That's why it's a bit,
English is very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's clearly not just a language thing then. I assume PJH's English is insane as well. Like
it's really good.
He's very good English.
I met him at a previous event when he was there before the coaching gig here with Dplus.
Oh yeah, because he was working with Ubisoft.
He was
doing some casting
and
stuff
I
like
thought
that.
he was like in the casting area, like a fan or some stuff, because he's very much a fan of the game and players, very much so, and he doesn't hide that. I love that about him. And then I was like, wait, that's the same guy coaching.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, it is. It's great to see Mitty getting a bit of live line. This guy has been playing Siege for the longest time. He actually qualified
coaching as well.
Yes. Yeah. So this guy actually qualified for the very first season of Brazilian Pro League way back in 2017.
Oh.
Yeah. And his team came last.
Oh.
And then he was, of course, made famous by his stint as the coach of NIP and only really returned to playing here. And, well, I mean, he's looking like he's very happy to be back behind the mouse and keyboard.
Beautiful. Great timing.
2 picks and then back to site. We love that for Dplus. JV, though, he says, all right, time to put my superhero cape back on. Find Levy. Look for a little bit more than that. Mitty has gone for a second. JV might be able to take him on down. Felipox needs to get some kills on the board, especially now that it's a 1v3. A 1v2. As he takes down Bullet. No diffuser to speak of. That died in the hands of JV. Oh no, it died on the main stairs here. In the hands of his teammate. Winnable for Felipox.
Bit of a puzzling round. Mitty hiding top floor, finds the perfect time in the crossfire on the main stairs, forcing Felipox in the 1v2.
Oh, but it's an awkward angle, and the crossfire is perfect from Dplus. Time to fire up. And that's the energy that we wanted to see out of Mitty. And PJH could not be more ecstatic. It's finally match point. And get this, it's in favor of the underdogs. Dplus on the verge of knocking FURIA down a peg.
Just one more round, boys. One more pocket set. That's been the saving grace of Dplus right now, where they can just win these rounds out of nowhere. A facepalm from Hertz as well at the end of the player cams. Definitely a bit of frustration. They're gonna go top floor, surprisingly enough, with that clash. The same approach like before. So a mixture of a little bit of plant denial, a little bit of time waste on the tube row. I'm not sure I'm loving this lineup from Dplus, and I'll tell you why. Levy is playing the recruit on defense, the sentry. That only gives you secondary utility, a C4 and the impact grenades. So sure, a little bit of plant with a C4, but you gotta be in the right spot to really use it. Then you have 2 Brow, you can stall the walls by freezing them, but Kite is banned, you're not playing better. You can't stop them from being opened up, so they will be opened up. You don't have any easy way to deal with those plant spots that FURIA went for last time around. So I really think for this with Dplus, you gotta really reel it in. You cannot lose a player early to a silly peek or a silly positional error or being unaware of a push somewhere. You need these 5 players alive because individually they're quite weak. They need each other.
Yeah. It's the nature of so many of those wombo combo operators on that attacking side, right?
Yeah.
And you still got these dreadful little things to deal with, like the Clash. And they countered Falls' Clash very well last time on this top floor using the Kali. We need to see that again. We need to see them really nullify Falls. Mears is also a great operator to fortify these positions, hold on and support with Falls. FURIA have to dot all their I's, cross all their T's. They have to get everything right just to send this to OT.
Looking like they're expecting a play, a jump out, a peek on the windows. Nate is waiting for it, but again, like I said, Dplus, all they have to do on paper is stay alive. They don't gotta make those hero plays at all. Hurts 4 and 10 on Thermite, making the first approach to the Janitor hallway, waiting to cut off that rotation, but it's just a clash, and you can't do anything about that.
And the Star Fragger, you can feel it's palpable. Herds, he loves to make his move. JV, again the saving grace for FURIA, as he always seems to be. He's hungry for more, but his teammate of Nade has fallen, and Nave has been instrumental in a lot of these recent rounds at getting that diffuser down, getting FURIA into plannable positions, and now the Sens is gone.
They're gonna pop the wall, and as you said, the only saving grace now, the smoke grenades from Thermite and the glass to work together. JV's gonna be the playmaker on stock windows. He's just a good gun with a flashbang to his name. A drone downstairs to stop any C4s, but JV goes down. Hero play out of action. He was 14 and 8 and cannot be there to save FURIA for this one.
A hard carry down means that the rest of the boys have to step up. We know they're capable, but it hasn't been their game today. Herds takes a hell of a lot of damage. And KZ is not on the most fraggable operator, being that Kali. He's looking for a chance to deal damage against that Clash, but it's not likely. And Falls, he might actually get the drop on him. He puts that shield down, picks it back up again, make sure that he's not exposed for too long. And Pox is down. Midi stands up again. Falls. Doesn't matter that his shield is falling. KZ just grasped one. And it comes down to Herds, who has not been good enough this game. He needs to step up, and he finds it. Falls on the Clash in the 1v2. The shield planted and destroyed now. He gets out the SMG, and KZ from behind takes him down and sends FURIA into overtime.
I don't know if that Clash is a bit of bait because his shield always up, not taking the fights, and that was gonna be the round for Dplus until it wasn't. JV was dead, no playmakers left alive, Hurts on low HP, and a goddamn Kali having to take gunfights from close quarters. And still FURIA, they find a way. I feel like if you're a player of Dplus right now, no tech timeout, you're entering OT, and you fumble 2 rounds to clutches because you're giving FURIA a small gap, which they exploit so well every chance that they're giving it.
And after 2 4-2 attack splits, we now go into overtime with FURIA starting on that favored side.
Oh boy.
And yet, every single one of these rounds feels like it could go either way, especially in that second half. I mean, most of the rounds that went by, there was only 1 or 2 players for FURIA left alive when they won those rounds. They were losing opening kills a lot of those rounds as well, and still coming back and bringing it close.
Yeah, we're seeing 2v4s, 2v3s, and it's never over till it's over. That's the really big thing right now. And I mean, I was sitting there watching the previous round going, there's no one from FURIA on window rappel. You're giving so much rotational power to Dplus to just run around the bomb site. And still, they managed to find their way back. Oryx being played despite the Monty ban hiding in the basement the entire time. This could just be... Okay, this could be where he's never going to roam. They're going to open up the lobby hatch. He's going to flank through the hatch that way. But now we're seeing FURIA they got a server tick likely, right?
Yeah.
So that pocket strat might never come to life, and they got...
You haven't brought Hibana, right? You've only brought the 2 sets of can openers, so you're probably not going to be opening up that lobby hatch. But it is a nice idea, especially because MIDI can come and support with the Echo drones and actually scout ahead and make sure that lobby's clear before Levy goes for the jump. But
that's the plan. But it might not be what FURIA has prepared for this one. This looks like it could very well be a limited server take with Garage flank. And that's all they would need. That and a few kills, and they're good.
Oh, no.
Bullet is injured. Not sure if he can be confirmed in Garage. He's gonna crawl away. Should be. Nope. Just on the corner. Gets picked off by Casey on the glass. Perfect up.
Yeah. This could be where Dplus capitulate. FURIA have lined up a very convincing attack setup here. A little bit of damage as Herds tries to get closer to the site. And KZ now has domination over Garage. You can see deep into Red Hallway. He can see the full site. He's going to deploy his last smoke to try and cut it off. Nia's trying to hold on to his position. MIDI survives, but a great shot threading the needle for Herds. And the round looks to be in the bag for FURIA. A match point for the first time. Could be theirs. Levy looks to try and get aggressive. I mean, his plan for this round completely nullified. So what's he going to do about it? The plant is going down. KZ is still at large in Garage. He goes down to Levy. Oh, and another one falls. JV going deep. The plant has been confirmed. It's a 2v3 on the retake, but with Levy falling as he attempts to flank the main stairs, MIDI, who failed to deny the plant, now has to do it all himself.
Up the staircase, 1v3, timer ticking away, and the Blitz alive. No one's been waiting for him. They're running away. They're playing down that clock. And Mitzi, I'm sorry, buddy, but he's in open area. You're looking the wrong way.
No. This is going to be the round done and dusted. FURIA back onto match point. They crawled all the way up the mountain. They clawed their way back into this from 5-3 in deficit. Here they sit at 7-6. Or, I mean, I guess if it was from Dplus's perspective, 6-7.
Oh. You still got it, huh? Hanging with a young crew. 6-7.
I still don't understand what that means.
I honestly, so as far as I know, it's from a song, and it's because we have a big meme for whatever reason. He just goes 6-7, and people love it. Sure. I don't know it either.
I mean, we're both Gen Z, right?
Both,
like, but we're not part of that. We're not cool
not
enough
quite
to be,
on that end of the
not
Gen
that
Z.
Gen Z enough. I mean, born in the 90s.
Yeah.
So
defenders protect your bombs from
not cool enough for that.
And that right there is the cost of doing pocket strats, by the way.
Yes.
When you think that they might do something, so you tailor your setup to counter it or have a bit of a niche, and they don't do it. And it's like, Oryx, we never saw the guy, never did anything, didn't use the gadget once, because they went for a completely opposite attack.
Yeah. JV's hit 15, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
It's been a big game for him. Not surprising at all. One of the best players in Stage 2.
Not surprising, but surprising in this game how the rounds have been playing out. I mean, he's finding a lot of kills when he's last alive.
Yeah.
He's found clutches. He's found openings. He's kind of been everywhere on the map.
Yeah, he has.
And I mean, also, the one spot that he owns is the elevator hatch top to basement.
Yes,
he's got
sure.
a third of his kills there, I think.
Yeah, I think he has. From both positions as well,
Yep.
being on the attack or the defense of it. Oh, well, pressure's on for Dplus. They fumbled their match point, and now they're going to have to climb back
Changing bags.
from 6-7 in deficit, attacking onto the basement. And the big difference here, from my understanding from FURIA, is we got the Warden, which I think we did have just the once, but it wasn't a staple of their basement defense previously.
Not for either team. It's been very little Warden for this game.
Well, FURIA really leaned into the smoke Tachanka combo, and they've also leaned a lot into the Echo, which isn't present at all.
So small switch up. A Dplus, unlike before, not super fast to the punch right now in the building.
Have a look.
You come to Track onto Warden, they know he's on the staircase, and they gotta deal with that. It could be tossing a nade and go for a swing. You obviously can't flashbang him. You could try and double up, but he's got a shotgun. It just feels very risky to lose or win the entire round off the server stairs, but it might come down to it. Falls finds JV early again.
If there's anyone you want to take down, it's JV.
A hashtag. Okay.
Okay. Sure,
Whatever that
sure,
means.
Bullet, whatever that, yep. All right. Well, here comes the Track again onto Herds.
It's such a 50-50 though if you want to go for this. Such a risky play. Nade and swing,
There's
fires
no
you
way
the
he
angle.
wins this. Does clear the fire at least. The second nade could go through. There is no escape now for Herds though, with that hatch being open.
I think you wait for the fire to go away, second nade goes through, then your white screen is at the bottom of the staircase, so that shotgun won't hit. That's gotta be the angle. And they got time to buy now because JV died.
Yeah.
That buys the attackers 20 seconds.
You might need to drop someone down the hatch as well to push from the other side, but they're going to be vulnerable to the side.
Track, nade, push.
Alright, here comes the track.
The nade.
And the nade, but the swing aggressively from Herds. The nade will finish him off after a bit of damage was dealt from that pistol. And now Dplus back in the numbers advantage. FURIA still have a way back into this though. Nade has plenty of Plantanol and Filipok still has a nitro cell in pocket.
Yep, there is time on defender's side here, 45 seconds, plant denial, but we gotta hit our shots now. Filipok goes down, no C4, and KC swings as well and can't find that shot.
And needs to win this engagement. Nade, meanwhile, on the side,
two.
is holding down the fort. Near's on the floor, and there's still information as well for the attacking side and the defense, but it comes down to Nade, who has to 1v2. We saw a big clutch from JV before. Can Nade do the same? He's isolating the 1-by-1, but Bullet gets the better of him. Midi is firing on all cylinders, and Dplus have pushed us the distance. One more round in the tank for this game.
One more. And now it comes down to, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And I feel like this is one of the few times where I would rather be on the attack, because you can just look at what's in front of you and communicate about it. Because you have like 20 seconds now as a defender of Dplus to go, what bomb site, what strat, who plays where, what's been the issues. Let's try and remember the last, 10 rounds of what's been happening on both sides. And you can easily make a mistake somewhere. But we see big smiles from Mitzi, big laughs.
Yeah.
I don't think they're too worried about this one. I think they're feeling pretty damn comfortable, because even if they were to lose here, they have gotten the job done today.
Oh, they
so
have.
far.
They have pushed FURIA deeper than almost anyone has done. So, I mean, remember, FURIA has only dropped one match so far, the whole stage long, and that was against Liquid. Like I said before, in a game that arguably didn't matter because it had no ramifications for the standings. I guess they did lose, one map in a couple of BO3s.
Oh, they lost the map. Oh,
they lost two maps in two different BO3s, but they still won those BO3s. It's a different story though when you're losing a map that's probably your opponent's map, but actually losing a series, losing a match like this is, especially because this is the best team from South America, the strongest region, compared to the third best team out of the APL.
Yeah.
And yes, they are Brazilian, but they compete
They're
in the
also
APL.
a newer team. Like Dplus came together for this APL, for stage 1 this year.
They formed less than a year ago, in fact. Whereas FURIA, they've had the exact same roster ever since they made some changes. What was it, 3 years ago after SI 2023? They made some changes. But ever since Copenhagen 2.5 years ago, they've competed at every event with the same 5 players. Midi finds the opening kill, and it's JV, the star player from FURIA. 15 kills to his name, who will sit out the remainder of it.
And it's Deimos. It's the wrong play that goes hand in hand with the blitz, with the execute, with the pushing power. It is actually the biggest pick imaginable. And once again, it means more pressure onto Nade and KC, who's playing blitz and the glass. That's gotta be the two most important operators right now in terms of getting those kills in the server. KC and Garbage for last time, but they reinforce the wall. That's the counterplay. He can't see all that much. Here comes 6 Harrow pellets, but that's half the smoke's gone now. Spit in the garage.
Oh,
and he's dead.
Beautiful shot through the smoke. And that is Levy standing up for the team when he's needed. Goodbye to KZ. Goodbye to JV. That's the 2 top fraggers for FURIA. We need the rest of the squad to get into the action. And so Nate does the blitz, marching his way into open area. But the defense can merely pull back. There's no need to sound the alarm at all for Dplus. They are still in control.
And they know there's one player in Garrus because Filipok shot some stray bullets when he dropped down that hatch from open area. So they know blitz in open area, Hibana in the garage. They only are missing information on one player. That's Hertz. And he's upstairs in the electric room just watching Archives Tellers for a flank rotation. Dplus gotta do what they've been doing so far. Don't do anything. Watch those cameras, hold those crossfires, and do not give FURIA a way into sight for free. That has happened before, but that was from JV on that elevator hatch. And JV, as we said, is dead for this round.
Oh, Nade, hello,
He
straight in, he misses his melee! He's gonna lose the fight! No! Falls to double down! Pox on you! FURIA in a 1v5! And it looks like the underdogs, they bite hard! Dplus, they take down the once world champions in their opening match of the tournament. The third seed from APL are here to play, and the imported Brazilians from Brazil to Korea and now to Munich, they have taken such a massive scalp in their opening match.
It started almost flawlessly and it ended all the same. A team effort from Dplus and an individual heroic game from JV and FURIA. FURIA gotta wake up, man. It's a one-man team right now.
It is. Say goodbye to your pick'ems, guys. I don't know if you would pick FURIA for this, but you certainly will be losing all your channel points today. A massive upset, and you can see the FaZe boys are just setting up their PCs and realizing Dplus have just taken down the best team out of South America, and they don't even compete in that bloody region. It's elation for the underdogs, and two players who have never competed at an international tournament before have just kicked it off with a win.
Beautiful. I really feel like Dplus have, in a way, really appreciated the APAC way. They played like an explosive, unpredictable APAC team, but with the skill level of Brazilians.
They did, and I also feel like we had a lot of different games within that one game. Like that first half, it was all about Dplus just running and gunning, pocket strat after pocket strat. FURIA, I don't know what their prep looked like for Dplus, but they looked totally unprepared. They didn't have a good read on a lot of those attacks that Dplus were coming out with. A lot of them were new. And then it changed. JV got that big clutch, and we saw, okay, FURIA, you can never underestimate them. They took the tactical timeout, arguably a little bit too early.
One could argue that, yeah.
And
certainly.
then as the game went forward, I mean, overtime, FURIA got that match point first when it came into overtime, and yet Dplus, I just think it's insane, because these guys didn't even manage to qualify for EWC after stage one, and here in stage two, they are looking absolutely phenomenal. The team that didn't even get the championship in APL have now just taken down the champions from FURIA. An upset to start the day. That sounds pretty lovely. Of course, we have more matches. Wildcard has a big game against Secret coming up next.
I can't see.